All right, football contest participants. So we have to have a little conversation about algorithms and scoring. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, but I want you to see what I'm doing and how we're doing it. And I also want to explain why we're running an audit on weeks 1 through 8. So let's start with the audit and why we're doing that. So as we were building the football contest, previously it was paper only. We'd never done it online before, which in Silsbee, for the B, you guys have never had the contest before. This was the first year, so it just looks like this is how we've always done it, but it's not. So the online proved to be a little bit of a challenge, getting literally 100 players, 160 players combined. It's crazy the amount of programming that has gone into making this more of an automated system for us, so that we're not hand counting each slip as it comes in. Back in the old days when it was just paper, it was pretty easy to do, but online what we get, the file we get, is a little more confusing than the paper. So we had to teach the computer how to read this thing, and over the first several weeks of this, little nuances to the program had to be tweaked because we were getting bad results. We didn't know it at the time, and we didn't, let's just say it's been a progressive learning effort. Now, week 9 and 10, we solved all of those problems, and the last 2 weeks have been dead accurate. And what I'm going to do is walk you through how we're auditing the weeks 1 through 8. In fact, weeks 1 through 3 are already done. I wanted to get a few of them done to see if it was going to affect anything, and it does. So, first thing I want to mention is all weekly winners that were announced in the paper are still correct. We're just going to have to let those stand. Were there mistakes? Yes, there were. Nothing I can do about it now. We can't go back. So the weekly winners that were announced in the paper stand. What this is going to affect is the annual contest, the one that's running all 29 weeks for the big flat screen TV and the recliner. We want our contest to be accurate, and we know you do too. And we know that because if there's a mistake in scoring, we get emails from many of you telling us that there's a problem, which, by the way, has been instrumental in helping us get this all solved. I apologize that it's seemed like it's been confusing or difficult. We've got it now. That's the important part, and we can fix the annual scoreboard. So you're going to see a change. You're going to see a change in the scoreboard. I just looked at the scoreboard after I finished audit week 3, and it's changing. There's nothing we can do about it besides me telling you this is accuracy. This is it. This is the annual leaderboard the way it should have been. I will tell you that when a game is corrected now, everyone that chose that winner is getting the win. If you didn't, you get a loss. So I'm going to explain a couple of reasons why the algorithm didn't work and what was going on, and you're going to find this to be a very strange problem, and it really literally took us until week 8 to figure this one out. So without too much further, we're going to get into auditing week 4, and I'm going to show it to you as we go step by step, and hopefully this will help everyone understand that the corrections have to be made. We have to get them right. It's just not an option. I want whoever wins those 2 big prizes to actually win them, and y'all do too, and we know it, and that's why you're playing every week. So let's get into it, and we will get week 4 loaded. I'm going to hit pause and pull up some stuff so that you guys can follow along with me. Okay, so what you're looking at is week 4, and this is exactly how I get it from the internet. When the week closes at 5 o'clock on Friday, I go in and I basically make a download of everybody's games. Now, there's some inconsistencies in this list, and that's what's been throwing off the algorithm. So we're going to take out the biggest one that took us the longest time to figure out. So the word, let's take Colts, okay? That's what we're asking the software, the algorithm, to find. We're saying the Colts won this game, and I don't know if they did. I'm not looking at it. I know you guys can see it, but I'm not. But do you see how when I highlight it, there's no space behind it? That's what I mean by a space. We're asking it to find this exact count of characters and letters, and it doesn't see it as letters. It just sees it as a dead match for what we're telling it. So if there is a space after it, if it's misspelt, if the capitalization is different, for example, that one, okay, it's going to kick it back and say that's a loser, even though it's not. Okay, we know the Colts won. We know that says the Colts, but unfortunately, the algorithm does not. What it wants is the exact name with no space and them to all be the same. So if you pick the Colts in this game, for example, to get the win, it has to match what we're supplying to the algorithm. So first things first, I'm going to do, and I know you can't see my pop-up windows, but I'm going to do my Command F, okay, and I'm going to put in a space, and I'm going to say find all. All the blue that you see now are all of the ones that have a space that shouldn't be there. All of those will count as losers, okay, no matter if they're winners or losers, because that space is throwing off the algorithm completely. Okay, it wants Colts, not Colts with a space, not Colts with a lowercase c, not Colts with a z. Okay, it wants exactly what we're telling it to look for, and what we're telling it to look for is the Colts spelled correctly, capital C, no space at the end. So we have to make the master sheet match up to what we're supplying the algorithm. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all the spaces, and there they go. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sort this. And again, I know you can't see my pop-up windows as I work, but we're going to sort this by column C, which happens to be game 1. So that way all of Silsbee's in a line and all of Westbrook's in a line, and you can see that. Okay, I'm going to copy Silsbee, and then I'm going to run down here and paste it into everybody that picked it. The reason I'm doing that is very simply to make sure they all match. Then I'm going to take Westbrook, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it all in here as well, because that's exactly what we want the algorithm to see. Okay, now I'm going to clean up the rest of this sheet, and I will be back now that we've kind of explained that. I've got to run through all of these and get them cleaned up. So give me a second and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm on to game 7, and I wanted to point out this was one of the problems with the algorithm that was throwing everything off. The algorithm does not like capitalized initials like SMU, TCU, UNLV, LSU, all of that stuff. So I have to do this. First thing we're going to do is change SMU to Methodist and go ahead and fill it in. And we're going to change this one to Christian and fill it in. Now, on our other sheet, which I'm going to jump to so that I can work, okay, on our other sheet down here, we're looking to make sure that, for example, I took out United and made it Beaumont. Cushing is correct. Texas TCU is now Christian. Okay, and I can tell you that this is going to change to Louisiana, Okay, and that should take care of that. So I'm going to jump over here and save it real quick. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but just trust me, I'm just saving it. As soon as I find it. And this is going to be CSV file, week 4, and it should be final scores. Yeah. And we're not done with this sheet. We're going to be back on that final score sheet in just a minute, but I wanted to stop and pause and show you this difference here. Okay. All right, I'll be back. I'm going to try to finish the sheet. Just remember, we're changing LSU to Louisiana. This helps remove the confusion and matching problems that we have with the algorithm. So give me a minute. All right, we're going to jump in real quick. So I'm getting ready to do the Raiders Commander game. So let's sort that by game 14, and I'm showing you this one because it's important. Okay, see this right up here at the top where it says Commander? Okay, that is a loss, even though the Commanders won this game, according to the algorithm. So we have to make sure that all of these names are the same. Raiders, Raiders, Raiders. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm almost finished, and we'll move on to the next step of this audit. Okay, guys, so we have this all figured out. This one's done. We're going to kind of tuck this window away for a minute and go look at this window. All right. So, Westbrook, spelled correctly, Buna, Beaumont, Kirby, Cushing, Christian, Colorado, Louisiana, Tech, Bears, Jags, Chargers, Commanders, Colts, and Browns. Okay, so our winner list is good. Now, is it? Here comes the fun part, folks. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that and give me a second, and I'll show you what we're up to next. Okay, so this is the second step of the audit, which is going to be verifying the game win, who won the games, okay, as well as the combined scores. We were double checking. The reason for this is we did have some problems early on, and those were human mistakes. Those are my mistakes. I don't have a problem admitting it, but we have to check. Okay, if we're going to audit, then we have to do everything, and this takes a minute, but I'm going to show you. You cannot see my bookmark bars. I know you cannot, but I have a folder up here that says Silsbee, and the first thing we're going to do is jump to the Tigers, look at their schedule, and look to see that the Silsbee Westbrook game was a loss, and the combined score was, in fact, 63 points. We're good there. Okay, and then I'm going to run over to the next game, which is going to be the Kuntz Lions. Got our schedule. They played Buna, and Buna won, so there you go. That's a good one. I don't expect to find these incorrect, but it doesn't mean they won't. All right, we have Lumberton, which I think was on a bye, so I don't even know why I picked that. All right, so the next one on our list is Jasper. So we're going to run over here to Jasper. Okay, they played Beaumont United. And they did. And they lost, so Beaumont got that win. I know you cannot see. There it is. You can see where I'm at. Okay. I'm going to finish these. Let me do Kirbyville, and I will get these all done, and then we will go to the next step. Well, let me find Kirbyville real quick. There it is. Schedule. Warren. Kirbyville versus Warren was a win. Perfect. And then we had Evandale. I think it's Evadale. I know I'm still learning. You'll have to forgive me. They lost to Cushing. The score was very high. I don't know how we got that. That score is incorrect. So see, that's going to change things right there on the tiebreaker. But the score was very high. I don't think anybody's going to have picked 106. But we're going to make the change. We're going to make the adjustment. That's what we're doing this for. Alright, Cushing is spelled correct. They won the game. Alright, I will be back and we will have a cleaned up, double checked winner sheet. Okay, so we actually have a cleaned up winners list. I know you can't see it, and I'll show it to you. It's right there. I'll go ahead and blow this up a little bit because we're going to hide it again anyway. Okay, now what we do is we're going to copy this. And we're going to run it over here. And some of this I'm not going to just set up new windows for, but I'm just making a clean text file of that. Okay, and I'm going to leave that open, and we're going back to the other window. Now for the part you guys have never seen before, which is the algorithm hard at work. Okay. Can't seem to get rid of the other file. There we go. Alright. Give me just a second. I got one more thing to set up. Okay. So we have done a lot of tweaking and changing. Most of this is stuck under project folders, but we've gotten this down pretty good. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask it to do this, which is remember the list of game winners, and this is why they need to have no spaces after they have to be exact, and then asking them to remember these scores. Okay, and when it's done remembering it, I've asked it to display it so we can double check it. So we're going to get this loaded up. Perfect. Okay, then we're going to paste in our next request, which is to take the master sheet and calculate. Start running the calculations for us. So I got to pull up the master because we know it's good. And I'm going to go ahead and save this on my desktop where I can find it. And then I'm going to close it because we don't need it. So here's the file that we cleaned up earlier. Very important that we use the right one, and we're going to upload it. And now it's going to take a second and hopefully generate what we're looking for. We're also asking it to display the new spreadsheet, which is the game winners, and we'll go over that spreadsheet in just a second, but you'll be able to see it here. It does take a minute. I know this seems like a lot of work on our end, and it kind of is, but the truth of the matter is I feel it's that important to get it right. As you can see, it's calculated the tiebreaker differences already, and it's already issued the points. Now, I'm going to download this file and set up a new window for you guys as soon as I open it. Okay. Give me a second, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the audit report that was generated of the winners and losers. So it really doesn't matter the weekly winners. Like I said, that those aren't changing. What is matter is this right here, the wins and this point row. Okay, so first thing I like to do is get rid of the point row for a minute, because that's what I'm going to need. Now, if there's any differences in these two columns, these two, it's because somebody got a score perfectly picked, like that one. If there's a 0, then there should be an extra point. This is a quick audit to make sure that that part of the algorithm is doing its job. And we've had people, you know, we've had good picks. You guys are actually very, very good at picking up game scores. This one was a big difference. So anyway, I want you to see this. Gregory Garrett had 2 entries. Okay, doesn't matter which one came first, and I've done this for everybody. If you put it in twice, you don't get the winner, you get the loser. You get the one that's lower. Okay, don't submit twice. I have no way of really telling which one came first, and I don't think it's fair that people put in multiple. Sometimes it's accidental, Sometimes it's not, but as you can see, okay, it made a difference. So if you, it's in the rules. It says if you have a change, you have to tell me. Nobody's told me that they've had changes. So I've done that same thing several times, and that's exactly what I'm going to continue doing through the rest of the contest. All right. How do we know that the algorithm's right? So I'm going to run over here, and I have my master sheet. Okay, and I know you can't see it, but you're about to. So I'll be right back. I'm going to take the next set of data straight from the master sheet so that we can audit what we have. So hang on just a minute. Okay, so what I've done here is basically randomly selected 3 of you. Okay, gone down and manually gotten what I had for you on the master sheet. So this is what you actually selected. All right, and there it is. Random. It's never the same 3 people. I basically just run through and grab 3 because it needs to be random for the sampling to actually have any real effect. So I'm going to go over here and get our weekly results, our game results, the very same thing we pasted in. Let me go find it. What do I do with it? Oh, that's not it. There she flows. Okay, so here they are. I'm going to copy them and I'm going to leave a space. It's my fun trick. Okay, these are the actual wins. All right, and then 63, 106, 57, 63, 106, and 57 are the actual scores of the games. And as you can see, we are setting up to compare. Okay, now I only do the scores because I want to make sure that that part of the calculation is working. It's very important that it is, for the extra points. So we can start with that. There's a 3-point difference here. Y'all get to listen to me do math out loud. It's going to be kind of funny. Looks like 34. And if I screw this up, believe me folks, I figure it out. Alright, I'm going to do the rest and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's check the algorithm and see how well it worked. Loss. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roger did 10. This is going to show up as a day. Don't let it freak you out. 4, 5, 6, 7. 9, 7. I can still tell what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not a good week for Miranda. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pick a bad week for you, hon. All right, let's check it out. Roger Martin did 10 and 6. Let's find Roger Martin. 10, 6, 346. So apparently I can't do math. It's 3. I got the other one right here. Just do this. 46. There you go. So Roger Martin, 346, 3. That's good. That checks out on what the algorithm gave us. So Sean Henry, 9 and 7. 9, 7, 25, 50, 18. Or 8 because I'm an idiot. Yeah, it's 8. I told you doing fast math in my head just doesn't work. Not a math guy. Miranda Taylor, 10 and 6. I've got 7 here. Did I miscount? 1, 2. No, I got 10. Did I miss somebody? Did I screw somebody up? Okay, so this is actually interesting. Alright, so we have to figure out why we have the wrong numbers. Okay, because what I'm looking at is Wrong. Oh, there it is. Okay, so see, human error is a thing. This is going to make this 7 and 9. Miranda Taylor has 7, 9, 28, 78, and 4. So the algorithm's good. Okay, I'll be right back. We have more to set up. Okay, so what you're looking at now is the audit annual on the left-hand side. You've been looking at this for the entire contest. This is the actually audited version of that. We're only through week 3. We're about to put in week 4. So I'll show you how to do that, and then I'll finish it. And then I'm going to show you the comparison. So we'll run up here. Everybody's sorted alphabetically. Okay, so I can start at Al Cole here and give him 10. I'm going to go down to Charlie and give him 9. Then we'll go to Danny and give him 10. And then we'll go to Daryl and give him 11. Dwayne will give him 12. Donna gets 11. And I'll be right back and I'll finish this. Okay, so what you're looking at now is on the left is on your left is the annual leaderboard that you've been seeing every week. Okay, this is the one that we're auditing against. So to see if there's any changes. Now I know this is going to seem weird because I'm not going to go through here and go, well, Dwayne got 12. Dwayne got 12. That's cool. There's no point in doing all that, but I will show you how I'm checking to see if there's any changes. I'm adding up all the wins, all the points, I should say, for week 4, and I'm comparing it to the points on week 4 with the audit. So again, this right here is the one you've been looking at. Okay, this is the changes. As you can see, there is a difference of about 38 game wins. Okay, that's significant. And you can see that this week had more, this week had more, and this week had significantly more. So we know that the audit is now correcting because we've gone through all of the steps and we have double checked everything. We know the algorithm is now correct, and we know that the totals that are being put in are now correct. All right, good morning. I know you just watched the audit video portion and how we actually made the audit, and I want to report that the audit is actually finished. We were correct, weeks 9 and 10. Week 9 is where we identified the major hidden problem, which was the spaces after the team names, and figuring out that we needed to actually dead match the winner list and the team names between those two sheets that we supply to the algorithm to get it right. Now, you're probably wondering why we didn't figure it out sooner. Well, first off, the space thing's hidden. You can't really see it, so it took a while. Somewhere in week 5 or 6, we started getting an idea that something was not going on. We had started the 3-person audit system by week 6, and we were kind of getting a feel for why the games were off. It was asking us to do something called normalize the list, and what it was asking was to, make the capitalizations correct, the spelling correct, the spaces correct. It was wanting to fix the list itself to match the winners list. And we thought, okay, well, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. The problem is when it gets it wrong, and it gets it wrong. So that was an issue that we figured out. Okay, well, that's not working. Yes, it's correcting the ones we're manually auditing of the 3 names, because we're asking it, hey, why do we have 9 and 7 for Shannon Anderson, and you have 8 and 8? And it would come back and say, oh, well, Texas A&M is Texas AM, or anyway, it would find the problem and say, you're right, Shannon should have 9 and 6. Do you want us to normalize the list and fix it? And we would say yes. and we would download the new list, and all of a sudden our 3 people matched fine, but there were still problems. The ones we weren't manually auditing, it wasn't changing those. So we figured it out. Week 9 and 10 were perfect. I did go back and double check them just for the fun of it, but the truth of the matter is they were on. So the last big change we made was the Texas A&M game. It took us all the way to week 9 to figure out that the and symbol was throwing everything off for that particular game. So it's why you see in our audit, when we do the weekly totals at the bottom, it gets a little better every time. Is because we were correcting things as we were going. So that kind of helps explain a little bit of what was going on. So I want to make clear, if I make a mistake, if I get a bad game in the list, let's say like this week, I know in week 11 we have Kirbyville game wrong somehow. I don't know how that happened. I picked it wrong, I guess. I didn't check the date, whatever. I do a lot of these. If the game listing is wrong, first thing is it shows up online first. Once it goes live online, it's wrong. That's all there is to it. The paper comes out after, and I just got a message that, hey, there's a game wrong in the paper. That player is using the paper to play the game, and that's fine. And so the answer is the same. It's a win. Okay, if I mess it up, guys, it's just a win. That's all there is to it. I try not to let it happen, but typically it happens 4 or 5 times a year, and I can't explain it, but it is what it is. So everybody gets that win. No big deal. This audit only corrects the annual results going forward. We know the algorithm is good now. We know that when we do week 11, we're going to have it spot on perfect. But as far as the previous week winners, 1 through 10, and again, we know 9 and 10 are good, so really weeks 1 through 8. If the audit would have changed the weekly winners, nothing I can do about that. We cannot go backwards. People have picked up prizes, the whole 9 yards. It is what it is. What was printed in the paper stands. And that's the true place, okay? When we put it in the paper, that's where the actual official result is. I know you guys love getting this stuff early, and so I do put it online as soon as I get it, but the official results are in the paper. So we've not really had a problem with that, but I just want to make that clear. I do put it up early online, but any changes I made between the time a week went up online and the actual paper printing, they were reflected in the paper. Okay, yes, I changed them online too, but just so that you know, the paper is the official results. So with that said, I've got a couple of windows here I want to show you. I want to show you the audit results so that you can see where we're standing after week 10. And I'm going to show you the old audit. The old standing results. I want you to see some of the changes. I want you to see that the leaderboard didn't really move around that much. Yeah, there's a couple of changes, but it's not that drastic. It's not as bad as, you know. Anyway, this is a very, very, very tight and close game right now. 2 points separate first and second place. 1 point separates second and third place. That is nothing. I mean, we have a long way to go still. 18 weeks to Super Bowl. I promise you this leaderboard will change again, or maybe it won't. Maybe Mr. Merlin Stark is going to win it all right now. I don't know. But what I do know is it's a very tight game. We have folks that have not played every week that are in contention here, and if they would just come back or stay with it, you know, they've got a real shot. So without further ado, I'm going to hide me. Okay, guys. So what you're looking at are the 2 annual leaderboards. The one on the left, okay, is the audit. The one on the right is the one that's currently online right now. These are games through week 10, as week 11 is closing while I'm making this video. So next week, which you'll be looking at, is the audited board plus week 11 added to it, and that'll make us current and in good standing, which is great. What I wanted to point out was there weren't that many changes. So Mr. Merlin Stark here kept his 119. Now I'm going to explain how we got him right, and on James we got him right, but on Larry we didn't. Okay, or on Al. Okay, why did some change and some not change? And that answer is very simple. Every week I have several players from Silsbee and Robertson County that audit themselves, and if there's a discrepancy between what I've reported and what they have, they email me or they call me or they text me and they say, hey Dennis, it's not right. That I completely understand, and manually I was going back and literally changing their games, just theirs. Early on, what we didn't understand was the entire week for everybody was not good. It wasn't correct. Okay, so we were changing them manually. Merlin actually checks every week, and if I don't hear from him, we're good. If I do hear from him, I was fixing his and moving on. Same thing for, James was doing it. You can kind of tell who was doing it, and that's fine. I'm going to tell you straight up, without those folks reporting the problem, I would have probably not caught on. I would have moved on the world thinking all was right. So, special shout out and thanks to those guys. And moving forward, if you see anything in the future that is wrong, please do not hesitate to text, email, smoke signal, the whole 9 yards. It's very important. So that I can literally, it's important, so that I can literally go in and audit that week, and I don't have to spend, a week going through 10 weeks. So thank you to those guys. It really helped, and it's primarily because of your constant vigilant paying attention here really paid off. So I apologize if everything seems a little confusing or if it's been a little bit of a rocky start. I can tell y'all that very truthfully, I've been running this contest for about 15 years. Obviously, for Silsbee, this is the first year. I was so excited to bring it to y'all, and we're going to keep doing it. For 15 years, this was a paper-only contest, and this year we thought, okay, there's got to be a way to do this online, and so we became the guinea pigs. And when I say that, it's because there's about a dozen other papers in Texas that run my contest. I've taught them how to do it, and they've been doing it for years and years and years, and they're still doing it paper only. So when I decided to move it online, I called them and said, hey, I'm going to do this online. Do you want me to try to get it, set up in time for you guys to do it online, or do you want me to work out all the bugs and teach you how to do it for next year? And everybody was like, no, let's just do it next year, work out the bugs. So we're the guinea pigs. That's just the way that happened. And next year they'll all be online with us, which is great because the bugs are now worked out and we have served as the guinea pig. It's really cool that all of them do it and more add every year. So it's kind of a neat thing. But I want to thank everybody for playing. It's been a great contest so far. I have no doubt that it's going to be an amazing finish. The boards are really tight. The board is really tight. We're talking about 2 points between first and second. And I have seen the flat screen TV. You'll need to design a room around this thing. It is monstrous. 75-inch TV from Walmart. We appreciate it. The recliner is amazing. I just bought a sofa from that furniture store, Highway Furniture, or $9.99. I'm still not sure. But anyway, the one in Silsbee. Awesome. Love seat, kind of a couch. It's really neat. It's a double recliner. But there you are, giving us the recliner for second place. 2 games separate second and first. 1 game separates third and second. So it's anybody's game. Keep playing, keep burning it out. If you see anything in the future that's wrong, just do not hesitate. Get on the phone with me immediately so I can get it fixed. Remember, the results in the paper are the official results. The online stuff, online results are kind of just a, hey, here's where we're at. So let's kind of think of it like that. If there's something wrong online, if you get your original results and they're online and they don't look right, just holler at me, and that way I can make sure it's fixed for the paper. Besides that, thank you guys so much. It's been fun so far, and I cannot wait to see how this ends. So, with that said, have a great rest of your week.